very soon.
And we'll let everyone enjoy the fabulous noise.
This is certainly something that we don't wish to be talking over. From the Rolls-Royce Heritage Trust, this aircraft is actual aircraft that was operational during World War II, a Spitfire PR.19. Flew with number 16 Squadron out of Moldbroek, Belgium. Manufactured in November and December 1944, built at Southampton, originally ordered as a Mark 8 and then built as a Mark 19. Delivered to number 16 Squadron in March of 1945 in the closing stages of the war. Undertook operational missions over The Hague, Rotterdam, the River Elbe, Emden, Bremerhaven and Cuxhaven, photographing shipping and V2 sites. Painted in that photo reconnaissance blue colour. Spitfires of all different marks operated in the unarmed PR role. Many of them were shot down. Post-World War II, the aircraft returned to the UK, stored at a number of maintenance units before in September 1952 was transferred to the temperature and humidity flight. Now, this is an RAF unit that was utilised for meteorological flights, basically aiding in weather forecasting. 9th of June 1957, it performed the last RAF Spitfire flight with that temperature and humidity flight. Following that last flight, it was actually transferred to the historic aircraft flight, which is a precursor to the Battle of Britain Memorial flight, and operated there through with the Battle of Britain Memorial flight. And it can be, I suppose, easily said that since 1938 there has not been a time when Spitfires have not operated with the RAF. 1963, this aircraft was flown by the officer commanding the Fighting Development Squadron, Wing Commander John Nichols, in air combat trials with the English Electric Supersonic Lightning fighter. You might wonder why you would fly a Spitfire against a supersonic jet fighter, but it was because of Indonesian confrontation that was taking place just north of Australia. They were operating Mustangs and the British aircraft in the area didn't know how to fly against a piston-engined aircraft. So there was tactics that were developed through the Fighting Development Squadron, through flying the Spitfire. Fortunately, those tactics were never employed. The aircraft was transferred to the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, and it actually also flew in the Battle of Britain movie. Absolutely beautifully demonstrated there. Makes it look just so easy, and the grace of the Spitfire is demonstrated for everybody here today. Spitfire, the Mark 24. It little resembled the prototype Spitfire flown by Mutt Summers. Different wing, much bigger fuselage, and certainly a larger empennage, the whole tail section. Unfortunately, there are no Mark 24s flying, and only 3 known to exist these days. It was the marriage, I suppose you could say, made in heaven, the Spitfire and the Rolls-Royce Merlin and Griffin engine. Now this is the last pass today, ladies and gentlemen. Nice wave there, ladies and gentlemen. Spitfire, the name synonymous with the victory of the RAF over the Luftwaffe and for operations throughout the China, Burma, India theatre as well.
And the aircraft departing back to its home base at East Midlands Airport, where the Rolls-Royce Heritage hangar is. Beautiful.
Beautiful to see that aircraft here today. Now that is my idea of a Spitfire. I love the Mark 24. Of course, none of those flying. I believe that in the world there are only 3 survivors. All of those here in the UK. It's a Mark 22 in Western Australia at the Air Force Association Museum there, and I believe that there is a Mark 22 that is held by Stephen Gray that could potentially be flown. The Spitfire story goes back to March 1936 when the prototype first flew, and Mutt Summers, the test pilot, is alleged to have said after flying the aircraft the first time, "Don't touch anything." Nobody really can say for sure what that means, whether or not it's perfect or don't touch anything, I'm coming back to fly it. Introduced into service with number 19 Squadron in August 1938, with number 19 Squadron there at Duxford. Of course, ironically, Duxford is now considered to be the home of the Spitfire. Not only did they build 20,000 of these machines, but they also built the navalised version, the Seafire, and there were just over 2,300 of those built in 8 different variants. Flew the Spitfire in either a major or a minor capacity during and post-World War II. They operated in every theatre during World War II and certainly gained the famous Battle of Britain status as a legendary aircraft.
Oh yeah. Took us round the airfield.
The RAF, United States, French, Polish, Russian, Yugoslavian, Australian and New Zealand squadrons. They were actually also trialled with floats for operations from remote areas and in Norway. That's going back to the roots of R.J. Mitchell's Schneider Trophy winning those high-speed seaplanes. Used in a lot of post-World War II conflicts, including those between Israel and Egypt. And it's incredible to think that they were flown alongside Czechoslovakian-built Messerschmitt 109s in the Israeli Air Force, fighting side by side. This flight is dedicated today to Squadron Leader Mark Long from the Midlands Air Festival. So incredible to think that Spitfires were used in Vietnam, but not in the way that you think. They were actually operated from the carrier Aramache. The French were using those during the first Vietnam War that concluded with the loss of Dien Bien Phu.
So the Rolls-Royce Spitfire has a very distinctive colour scheme.
This one is in what they call PR blue, photo reconnaissance blue. And why? Because this particular machine was actually delivered in manufactured November, December 44 and delivered to number 16 Squadron as a photo reconnaissance aircraft. It undertook a number of noteworthy operations towards the end of World War II over The Hague, Rotterdam, over the River Elbe, Emden, Bremerhaven and Cuxhaven, photographing shipping and also potential and actual V2 sites. March 1946 it returned to the UK and was stored in a succession of maintenance units. In September 1952, cranked out of storage and was issued to what they called the temperature and humidity flight. Now, the aircraft were equipped with various instruments that could measure pressure, temperature and humidity at various altitudes to assist in weather forecasting. On the 9th of June 1957, these aircraft performed the last RAF Spitfire flights with that temperature and humidity flight. Now they were immediately transferred to the historic aircraft flight, which is the precursor of the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. That was the final flypast there of the Spitfire, and as I said, dedicated today by the Midlands Air Festival to the memory of Squadron Leader Mark
long.